After a long night celebrating his 60th birthday, Shane Jones flew into Taranaki today to dosh out more pūtea from the Provincial Growth Fund. This time, among the grateful recipients were a multi-million-dollar gas infrastructure business, a start-up craft beer bottling company, and a regional airport with an undersized runway. Our Taranaki-Whanganui reporter Robin Martin tagged along.
The Regional Development Minister touched down shortly after 9 o'clock and got straight down to business, handing out a paltry $57,000 to the New Plymouth Airport, which is in the midst of a $28 million rebuild. Shane Jones explained to airport hierarchy and local dignitaries that the government had grappled with which airports needed what, and he'd made a boo-boo.
I made an error and acquiesced with a call to get the Ministry of Transport officials to distill a report, come up with some recommendations. I would have been better off consulting the lotto saleswoman in Kerikeri.
Mr Jones went on to say the New Plymouth Airport faced some difficult challenges.
How do you cope with the expanding number of travellers coming to Taranaki when the airstrip is the shortest in Aotearoa? It is likely to suffer in the not too distant future problems that all coastal communities are going to grapple with climate change, and it is precariously close to an urupa.
He thought of the $57,000 as a down payment on the $500,000 feasibility study required for a runway realignment, likely to cost tens of millions of dollars. Airport Chief Executive Wayne Wooten had already done the sums.
So basically, if one of the options is to actually look at a realignment, if we do realign, we can actually go to 1,800 metres plus recess.
How much would a new runway cost?
Oh, we're looking at, I've done a rough estimate, potentially in the sort of 55 to 60 million mark.
Problem solved, nominally at least, and after a break for mince on toast, it was off to the premises of the theoretical brewer, when Patrick Mills had the tricky task of explaining why the New Plymouth company Arcos Filler was getting $300,000 for bottling craft beer.
The equipment to support these breweries hasn't kept up, so this piece of equipment fills that void. It provides a low oxygen bottling solution to bottle craft beer and protect the beer, extending the shelf life and keeping the beer fresh.
Meanwhile, Angela Augier of First Gas didn't exactly make it sound like the company needed the $260,000 it was getting to investigate whether hydrogen could travel in its existing pipelines.
Exactly. We own around $1 billion worth of assets, and it is an endowment for New Zealand and our New Zealand's energy system, and that can continue to provide energy for New Zealand to power growth and jobs in New Zealand, and so that's the important thing that we see.
But Mr Jones's largesse only goes so far, and he'll settle for second hand if it works for New Zealand.
I'm a great believer in seeing what infrastructure we have in our own country and how it might be adapted to serve a purpose that's different from when I grew up, and just told you I'm 60.
In the other announcement today, Mr Jones, alongside Conservation Minister Eugenie Sage, confirmed a $13.3 million investment in the Taranaki Crossing project in Egmont National Park, which was first flagged in April. I ngā mutu mo te hōtaka o te ahi pōnei, ko Robin Martin aho.